Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the pod. My cat will likely run away, but I have had him here for 20 seconds, and I am going to do the podcast like this because I can do whatever I want. Isn't that fun? Free will. And nothing has to be perfect. I don't know what I'm going to talk about today, but we're going to talk about whatever I want. Again. Okay. So the cats will come in and out as he has left. He's almost tripping over things. Why did I want to sit here? Well, this is how far my computer cord would go without me having to unplug it. Because often I have to unplug it and replug it, turn it on, do this and that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that today. So I'm not going to. This is what I wore to the gym. Luckily, you can't smell me. All right. I really need to wash my hair, and I'm not going to until this is done because you know what? I'm just going to do it. This might be the best one yet. I don't know. No. I'm just going to talk about what's on my mind. I'm going to talk about what clarity I've been getting, and I am a week out from going to the Bahamas, which can't wait for that. But it's funny because when I booked that trip, it was because I was feeling really like the walls were kind of caving in and that I needed to get out of here and escape and give myself this like factory reset and change the environment, be by myself, be in that almost like monastery, prayer, sanctuary energy. And now, the weeks after, so it's been 2 weeks since I booked it, I have been able to sort of turn over a new leaf, as we say, and feeling way more grounded and accepting for where I am, and that this retreat, this getaway is more of a celebration than a necessary recalibration, which it certainly will happen, but I genuinely just want to be outside for an extended period of time. I want to read on the beach and eat really good food and be in devotional practices with others. And that was always the reason for going in the first place, but it felt so like I need to. And I've really reframed that concept of needing anything. I have been working with this woman. I mean, I bought a course from her. It's very inexpensive and it's incredible. But she talks about like desire and attachment and the need for things. And when we need something, that means that we are attached to it and therefore we are chasing it. And when we're chasing something, that means that it inherently is running away from us. And so not saying that kind of language, not saying that I need anything, that I want something. You know, I want to go away. I want this or that in my life, but I don't need it. And her big thing was not needing, wanting it, and most importantly, not abandoning ourselves for it. And when I think of that sort of concept and sentence structure, it's like the amount of times that I've abandoned myself for the things that I thought that I needed in relationships, especially with men and even in work settings, career, the amount of times that I have been, dragging my feet, feeling so disconnected, so stressed out beyond, so much anxiety and sadness and like misalignment, and then just like still doing it because I felt like I owed someone else my energy and attention and care, so and that goes back to like, I don't need this job, I can get another job. I don't need this relationship, I can meet someone else that is more in alignment with me, and I'm not going to abandon myself to make this person happy or make this job happy. And so really dancing with desire lately. And another thing that she talked about that has been a great reframe is looking, it's so outcome focused. We're so outcome focused, like even just like the design of the social media platforms. I mean, we're always seeing someone's highlight reel. And after, I think I talked about this even in the last podcast about how people are like, you know, showing something that they worked on for years and years. And it's just like the final product, you know, here's the book, here's the family, here's the kid, here's the ring, the trip, the business, the retreat, whatever it is. And it's like, you are seeing like the final product that is like perfect enough that it's worth, you know, this celebration and like perfectly packaged and ready to be received by the public from that person's perspective, that it's ready. And I just find that when we're in that constant state of like outcome, it will be good and perfect and worthwhile and sharing when it gets very ego driven. It gets very, you get lost in everything that leads you up to that, which is the process. And so being more process focused, and I think I posted this on my story. It was like, what did it say? If you celebrate everything as like an exploration rather than, you know, like this podcast for me, I'm going to do this once a week for a year and see what happens. I'm not really focused. I don't really care how many people listen. I don't really care how many people download it. I don't care about any of that. I just want to show up every week and do this because I wanted to do this for a long time. And as you see, I can just press record and do this, mic, and it's ready to go. So I just don't need to complicate it. I'm into the process. I'm into how I am going to just develop my thoughts. Being more dedicated to the journey and the day to day. I definitely have been saying for like a while now, after watching a Naval interview on Modern Wisdom with Chris Williamson, he said the journey is all there is. Journey is all there is. And I've been like saying that, but am I actually like embodying it and living it? I am now, one day at a time, but I am, like everybody else, really addicted to the dopamine hit of doing something like new for the first time, you know. Starting something is such a like high, and when you have to show up in the nitty-gritty each and every day to like get through the journey of whatever you started, it can become very like lackluster. So what's beautiful about the human mind is that we can reframe and look at things however we want it to see. Like our perspective is malleable and can change and shift. And so the brilliance of a reframe, you know, I am doing that with this like day-to-day journey. Like how can I like fall in love with the journey every day? And that, of course, I like do that through like the pockets of gratitude that just sort of show up throughout the day. And I am in that like broader sense of gratitude with, I'm so lucky. I get to have all these like amazing opportunities and learn all these different things. And I'm developing my own career path and job, or, purpose, life purpose. And so that being said, I'm involved in several different things, and all of them require my attention in different ways. And I am the one that is going to put that together, right? So like, I don't have like a 9 to 5 and a boss that's going to tell me to do these things. I have to create the schedule for myself. And so that can get very overwhelming. And then I just get lost if I don't have that structure. And so I've been very like, oh, I'm just going to go with the flow and like see where life takes me. But that is just not working, right? I've been talking about that the last podcast. So finding that discipline throughout the day and having like a list of things that I could potentially be engaging in, and then picking certain days to do specific courses or classes that I'm in, is becoming very helpful. It's something that I need to be acutely aware of though, because if I like today, I'm doing okay. Like what happens often is that there's things that I do not want to do that need to be done. And so I will, avoid them and do other things like I made an Instagram post today for celebrating Yule, which I'm so excited about, and, the winter solstice that I'm doing on the 21st. And, I'm making these posts from scratch. I'm finding these photos on Pinterest. I'm putting them together. I'm creating, what I'm writing and trying to make it simple, but also like grab people in and making sure everything aligns properly and looks good and flows, and it's all me. I'm not like, this isn't a template that I'm finding. I'm like doing it myself, and it takes hours. This probably, it takes like an hour. Sometimes it takes two. For the paint night one that I created, that took a long time. And so, and it's not like I don't like doing it. It actually is very relaxing for me. But again, with the dopamine hit of doing something new and checking the box fast, these things take time. And so a lot of what I'm doing takes time. Takes not just, and it all requires my attention, my conscious attention. And so I can't just like put on a podcast and do something, I have to, it's a complete opposite. I'm like listening to someone, writing down in reflection, and then applying it. And that just requires this undivided attention in a world that is designed now to have our attention so divided. And so then I just get stressed out or I get overwhelmed, and I just like go on my phone because that like quick dopamine hit. So as I start to rewire and detox here, I'm doing it in all sort of forms of my life. Like I'm really playing with the idea of the body as a temple and how I treat this temple, how I treat my mind, my body, my spirit. The body is a temple. How, like, genuinely looking at myself in that way. And I talked about food in the last pod. It's been very nourishing to just think about what I'm eating, to be more conscious and aware and attentive and intentional with what I eat. Now, I've definitely wanted to cut out sugar. Have I had a little bit of sugar? Yeah. You don't realize when you don't care about that, and then you're not focusing on it, and then you realize how much sugar you have all day, or what things do have sugar in it, like a poppy has 5 grams of sugar in it. And when you're like used to not having sugar, you take the maple syrup out of your coffee and you do all the things, it like hits you. And so it's that battle too. It's like, well, I'm not doing anything, so maybe I can just get a poppy. Whatever. It's just stupid, but it's reality. And so looking at the body as a temple and wanting to treat my body as a temple for this next year. And what is a temple, right? A temple is a sacred space. It is one that is honored and cared for, and that holds that ancient and sacred wisdom within it. And so you go there for a sense of cleansing and renewal. And so, I mean, if you know anything about the body, the body is the definition of cleansing and renewal. I'm from like the renewal of our cells and the constant movement of our blood and cell renewal constantly, millions, billions, billions happening at all times, the clearing of the kidneys, the channel of the kidneys. And just from a traditional Chinese medicine perspective, and as I continue to move through the Tao and looking at my organs and the elements, the outside world, and how that really reflects our inside, and looking at my organs as like a part of me, right? That sounds kind of ridiculous, right? Obviously, they're a part of me, but I feel like there's an objective to organs, and it's just like, we all have a liver, we all have a lung. These are your lungs. These are this is your liver. This is your kidneys. But I don't think we have that like relationship. Like, these are mine. These are mine, and they hold more than their anatomical abilities. They have a connection to our emotional body and state. And so what really fascinates me in understanding these ailments that I see with people all the time, like these chronic issues that that have a really hard time getting healed, and people just don't have the answers and go to doctor after doctor and nothing fixes it. And then they're, the fucking spiral that I have been through and several people that I know have been through. And probably if you're listening to this, you might have been through it too. And so because of that, there is an emotional component to all of this. And so the kidneys, for example, they hold worry. So if you are someone that is like constantly like, oh, I'm worried about you, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that, worry, 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 fear, 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 right? They hold that lack of trust. And if the kidneys are just kind of seen, or they just do their own thing, they don't see them, you don't really realize like that their functionality. And so if you're just unconscious about the specific organ, and then you start to have kidney stones or some kidney issues or something like that, it's like, okay, have I been in like a lot of fear lately? Have I been worrying? Have I been in anxiety? Right? The antidote, not antidote, but anxiety is worry, right? Is worrying about the future, thinking about what's ahead. Again, lack of trust. So, and the liver holds a lot of anger, and it is our detoxifying organ. Like, to say that like we need a detox or do this or that, it's like, what's more effective is creating an environment in your body where the liver can thrive. And so that is a lot of cleansing elements in your day-to-day life. And I would say a 50-50 with like the emotional state of being, right? If you are very resentful in hatred, if you hate people, if you get angry really easily, if you have a lot of disdain towards yourself or others, or just are really quick to not like somebody and judge, that is held in the liver. And so clearing that channel in the mind, and this is like, knowing this is one of the reasons why I'm really dedicated to, like, I do not hate a single soul. The people that really grind my gears, which there really aren't many, I pray for them. I pray for them. I always do the Ho'onoponopono prayer, the ancient Hawaiian prayer. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And it's not like the anger doesn't come up, right? There's, for example, there is someone who moved into the neighborhood that I live in who does not clean up after their dog and leaves their dog's feces all over the neighborhood. And like, that's not something we do around here. Everyone cleans up after their dog. Like, that's not it. And I've caught her doing it twice. And I went for a walk yesterday, and I remember driving by the night before and seeing her and was like, I wonder if she's going to clean it up. And then right where it was, I saw the stuff. And I was walking and I was so mad. And I was like thinking about, trying to find her and, calling her out and saying that I'm going to get her arrested and, call the police and do all this stuff. Like, I really was so pissed off at this person. And, I had to come back into my rational mind and be like, well, you can approach this with anger and threat and disdain and aggression, or you can come from a genuine place that, like, hey, like, it's really important that you clean this up. Like, this is a biohazard. This is really dangerous for our neighborhood. And, if you need bags, like, I have them, and just like have them on me to give them to her, and just like genuinely ask from like a kind place and not be threatening or mean. It's like both those options are available. And I'm pretty confident the latter, the kindness, will go a much longer way than the threat. But I had to sit with that and grapple with that as I went for this walk, like, and just be recognized, like, the power that I was giving away on this beautiful Saturday morning walk. And half of it is, grueling over this woman as poor behavior. And, I also went into reflection. Well, if she's doing that on the outside, I can only imagine what's going on the inside. And that's where the compassion comes in. And so it's like, what I'm saying is that, obviously I have these thoughts. I get pissed off. I get mad at people. I get really riled up sometimes because I'm human. And that's okay. What's important is that I'm able to come back down and like be rational. And I do not want to be in a state of anger and threat and disdain at all. And so coming into that softness is where I always want to land. And so I don't really know why I brought that up. I don't remember what's happening. Because Tuna's here, my cat, who's perfect. He's also my shaman. You might think that's crazy, but if you met him, you would know. And I met this animal psychic, and I showed her a picture of him, and she said that, well, I showed her a picture of both of my cats, and she pointed to him and she said, "This is an ancient one." And he is. He's very healing and perfect and amazing. And I also recognize that I have great cats, and not a lot of people do. But if you ever need to heal your cat trauma, you can come over here and heal them, because these two will melt your heart in a heartbeat. I will say I've always had great cats, so, not, I've definitely had bad cats, but always had a good one in the house. Back to it. The liver! Yeah, your liver is the size of an American football, if you didn't know. American football! Yeah, and the large intestine, small intestine, just, I'll speak for myself. I've had such a disconnect from my own, like, physical being. Understanding the functionality of my own body. There is a book called The Body by Bill Bryson, which I've recommended to several people. I've given the book to several people. None of them have read it. If you are interested in understanding the body and the brilliance of the body and it's very well written and easy to understand. I think I was just in a good place when I read it, but in terms of like scientific information, was times in my life where I don't know, I'll read like a book a day sometimes, and then I'll not read it all, and then blah, blah, blah. The book that I'm reading, I will finish today. I'm gonna read that book after I do this pod. Is Cynthia Erivo's new book, which I talked about last week. God, I love her, and I'm so motivated by this book. I'm motivated to do a few things. I'm motivated to start running because she's a runner, and I love to run. And I've had this chronic pain in my hip for a long time, and it's plagued me, right? It's like it prevented me from doing this, that, and the other thing for a long time. And I had that thought when I was thinking, like, oh, I'd run if blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, if you just stretched and focused on it and cared for it and like put the time and attention into caring for this part of your body, then you probably would be fine and be able to run. So that was a beautiful realization. It's poetic, this book, Simply More. It's poetic, it's thought-provoking, it's inspiring, it's brilliant. And I am deeply desiring diving into the arts. I have for a while, but 2026 I will be. I highly recommend reading it. It's short. Again, I started it yesterday. I'm halfway through. I'll read it. I'll finish it today. But it's a book that I kind of want to go back to and annotate and review because there's really beautiful introspective questions and but also like very much could be answered in the moment. So it's not like they're not necessarily like journal prompts. It's just like thoughts. Like, okay, who's this person that has inspired you? Like, when was the last time you gave them a call? Whatever. So I really liked that so far. And when I go on vacation, I have this new fun, like, fantastical, almost like Harry Potter-esque book that I'm going to read that's pretty thick. So I think it will last me most of the trip, unless I will read a whole book in a day. So I might take 2. But I always have a nonfiction book that I can read like 4 pages of, and then I'm like, okay, that's enough. You know what I mean? So I'll bring that too. But I am going to pack today. I'm so excited about that. I'm going to just get ready. I have an incredible, busy, filled week that I'm really grateful for because everything's going to fly on by, and I get to be in so many different communities this week. I am teaching 8 classes at Cedardale, which is like always great. I love Cedardale so much. And I just taught HIT for the first time on Friday, and I gotta say, I'm obsessed. I love teaching that. It's really fun. It's a lot easier than teaching yoga or any other class I've ever taught, to be honest with you. It's very easy and fun. So I'm excited to prep for that. I have my somatic release this Thursday in Burlington, which is always just an absolute delight. Beautiful community, beautiful people, so invigorating and worthwhile. I'm excited to do more of that kind of work online and in person as well. And I have paint night, intuitive paint night on Friday night. First one, I already got 10 people signed up. We have, spot for more. Great thing to do with friends or mom or anybody really. And then I'll be at Seacoast Stilettos for a vending event, which is always beautiful to like meet new people in that way and just be in community and support them. So all of them will be in my link in bio. Please like and subscribe. It's so good to stay up to date on this kind of stuff. If you relate to anything below, please comment below. And if you want to come to Yule celebration, winter solstice celebration, that is Sunday the 21st. So I'll have that info in the bio as well. So thank you for listening in. Have a beautiful week and enjoy this gorgeous winter we're having. Many blessings. Bye-bye.